That was a Nazi salute, and he didn't just do it one time, he did it twice for emphasis. He should not just apologize, he should be condemned for those kinds of actions. Look at a moment when anti-Semitism is at an all-time high in my lifetime. A presidential rally and giving 2 Nazi salutes in a row. We spent 3 days, debating, having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. Of course he did. Just like the OK sign meant you were a Nazi and a MAGA hat meant you were a Nazi and working out at the gym neo-Nazi. They're also moving on to the next hoax. Bono says Elon's a mass murderer. Just recent report. It's not proven, but their surveillance enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just this cutoff, this hard cut of USAID. What is that? That's not America, is it? Well, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater for sure. It was a money laundering operation. For sure. There was no oversight. For sure. Billions of dollars are missing. In fact, trillions that are unaccounted for. Elon saw what Bono said and called him a liar and an idiot. The media is accusing Musk of murdering 300,000 people with no proof. But China killed millions with a virus and they said, it's not China's fault. It's just a pangolin. This is what they do. Call you conspiracy theorist while they cook up hoaxes. Remember when the tariffs were going to turbocharge inflation? That was another allegation. And so far, no evidence. The reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both. Mark, when we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So, why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen? Do you hear yourself, Margaret? This is why no one trusts you. Just look at this headline from the Washington Post. The mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the US-Mexico border. Yeah, there's a drop in fentanyl seizures because the border is secure. Mystery solved. These are the same reporters who couldn't figure out Biden's brain was oatmeal. Everything crystal clear is a mystery to them. But everything that's unclear, they have an answer. And the answer's almost always dead wrong. I can't wait for the next bestseller. Why Walls Work by Jake Tapper. Fox News contributor Kellyanne Conway joins us now. So was that a Roman salute by Spartacus? Kellyanne, the problem is everything he said before the salute. He makes absolutely no sense. The man ran for president and got 0 votes. And let me just hold it up, Jesse. That's 0 votes in the Democratic primary. Look, this is a mainstream media problem. They have no credibility left because the Democratic Party has no authenticity. Look at the poll numbers. The Republican Party is now seen by 2-1 as the one that has strong leaders. By 2-1 is the one that gets things done. They're seen as the party that cares about people like you. That's for the middle class. I mean, these used to be owned by the Democrats. And part of it is what you're showing, Jesse, which is that people just don't believe that when Elon Musk is waving to the crowd or one of us is putting our hand on our heart that we are Nazis. They can't say a guy yesterday in illegal who lit a Holocaust survivor on fire at the age of 88. They can't say he is a Nazi, but they somehow know that these other people are. Hillary Clinton has done this. Elizabeth Warren's done this. It's called waving to the crowd. But the media used to hold government to account. Now, Jesse, they just run interference for it. They lied about the Steele dossier. They lied about Russia collusion. They lied about Hunter's laptop. They totally propped up Joe Biden. Made us think that he's not wearing pull-ups, he's actually doing push-ups. And then they actually propped up the jobs numbers to make him and Kamala Harris look better. So they are enabled day in and day out by a media that has a presumptive negativity anytime a Republican, let alone someone connected with Trump or his last name is Trump says, or is anything versus the pass they give if you have a D after your name or if you're pro-choice. So Margaret, oh dear Margaret, do you think people listen to her? Do people watch that show anymore when she says there's going to be this, that, and it never happens? Do people remember all her wrong predictions? Well, it's not just her. I think they're watching that show to watch Secretary Bessent tell them what's going on and why in fact the tariff policies are part of Donald Trump's macroeconomic policy to rebuild an economy, Jesse, that works for everyone like the guys and gals we grew up with. Why should the plumbers and pipe fitters pay for student loans of doctors and lawyers and then be told, "We don't need your services anymore"?